In the summer of 2023, the small town of Meerut in northern India buzzed with the usual rhythm of modest ambition. Dust rose from unpaved lanes where autorickshaws ferried workers to textile factories, and families gathered on rooftops in the evening heat to share stories of better futures abroad. Among them were Priya Sharma, 28, and her younger sister Anjali, 24. The two women had grown up sharing a single room in their parents' cramped home, dreaming aloud about escape, not from their family, but from the cycle of low wages and endless overtime. Priya was the steady one, practical, soft-spoken, with a bookkeeping diploma and years of experience managing accounts for a local garment exporter. Anjali was the dreamer, artistic, quick with a laugh, always sketching designs on scraps of paper, convinced she could one day sell her patterns to international fashion houses. When a recruitment agency in Delhi advertised well-paid administrative and creative roles in Dubai's booming retail sector, the sisters applied together. The promise was clear: tax-free salaries, shared accommodation, annual leave, and a clear path to sponsorship. The agency arranged everything: visas, flights, and a 2-year contract with a luxury mall conglomerate. Their parents hesitated. Dubai felt impossibly distant, a glittering mirage built on sand. But the sisters were resolute. "We'll send money every month," Priya promised. "And in 2 years we'll come back with savings for a proper house." Anjali added, smiling, "Maybe even open our own boutique here." On August 12, 2023, they boarded a flight from Delhi with matching suitcases and hearts full of cautious hope. Dubai welcomed them with blinding light and air-conditioned silence. They were housed in a modern staff compound in Al Quoz, clean, secure, with a small gym and a shared kitchen. Priya was assigned to the finance department of the mall's head office, reconciling daily transactions from dozens of high-end stores. Anjali joined the visual merchandising team, arranging window displays and creating seasonal themes. The work was demanding but professional. Salaries arrived on time. They video-called home every Sunday. For the first 6 months, everything aligned with the contract. The sisters adapted to the rhythm of expat life: early shifts, crowded metro rides, Friday brunches at inexpensive cafes, and weekend walks along the marina. Anjali's sketches evolved. She began incorporating Emirati geometric patterns with Indian motifs. Priya opened a small savings account and sent regular transfers home. They spoke of returning in 2025 with enough to start a small business. Then, in March 2024, subtle changes appeared. Anjali started mentioning a new supervisor named Khalid, mid-30s, charming, always offering extra project opportunities. He praised her creativity, invited her to exclusive supplier meetings, and suggested she pitch her own collection to the mall's executive board. Priya noticed her sister working longer hours, returning late with stories of brainstorming sessions that stretched into the night. Anjali's calls home became shorter. She sounded distracted, excited, sometimes evasive. Priya asked once, gently, "Everything okay?" Anjali laughed it off. "Just busy. Good busy." By June 2024, Anjali stopped posting on social media. Her last photo was a selfie in front of the Burj Khalifa fountain at dusk, captioned simply, "Chasing Dreams." Priya grew uneasy. She checked Anjali's workstation. Her sister's laptop was gone, replaced by a standard company machine. When Priya asked HR, they said Anjali had been temporarily reassigned to a confidential project with external partners. No further details. On July 18, 2024, Priya received a text from Anjali's number. "Taking a short assignment in Abu Dhabi. Back in 10 days. Don't worry. Love you." Priya called immediately. The phone rang once, then went to voicemail. She tried again the next day and the next. No answer. She visited Anjali's room in the compound, clothes still folded, sketchbook untouched on the desk, a half-finished drawing of a lehenga with desert rose embroidery pinned to the wall. Priya reported her sister missing to the mall's HR department. They assured her it was routine. Some projects required temporary relocation and restricted communication. When Priya pressed, they provided a formal letter stating Anjali had signed a non-disclosure agreement for a high-profile creative consultancy and would return by August 1st. August 1st came and went. No Anjali. No message. On August 15th, Priya filed a formal missing person report with Dubai police. She submitted Anjali's passport copy, employment contract, last known location, and the text message. The officer on duty listened patiently, took notes, and promised to investigate. Weeks passed in agonizing silence. Priya continued working, but her focus frayed. She barely slept. Every time her phone buzzed, she hoped it was Anjali. It never was. Then, on October 3, 2024, two plainclothes officers arrived at Priya's office. They asked her to accompany them to the station. In a quiet interview room, they placed a folder on the table. "We've located your sister," one officer said. Priya's heart leapt. "Where is she? Is she safe?" The second officer opened the folder. Inside were photographs of a modern villa compound on the outskirts of Dubai. High walls, palm trees, security cameras. Then came images of official documents, a residency visa in Anjali's name, but issued under a different sponsor. Not the mall. A private events management company registered in Ras Al Khaimah. Priya stared. "This isn't our company." "No," the officer confirmed. "Your sister's employment contract was transferred 6 months ago without formal notification to you or your original employer. The transfer was processed legally, but the new sponsor failed to inform the Ministry of Human Resources as required for certain categories." Priya felt the room tilt. "So she's working somewhere else?" The officers exchanged a glance. "Not exactly." They slid another document across the table, a marriage certificate dated April 2024. Anjali Sharma, Indian national, married to Khalid bin Ahmed Al Mansuri, Emirati citizen. Priya's breath caught. "She never told me." "The marriage was registered privately," the officer explained. "Under UAE law, it is valid. But your sister did not inform her family or her original employer. When we traced her through telecom records and bank transactions, we found she had been living in the villa compound since May." Priya's voice trembled. "I want to see her." The officers nodded. "We are arranging a supervised meeting tomorrow. There are complications." The next morning, Priya was driven to a family counseling center in Jumeirah. Anjali waited in a softly lit room with frosted windows. She looked different, hair longer, henna on her hands, wearing an abaya. But her eyes were the same, bright, a little scared. Anjali whispered, standing up. Priya crossed the room in 3 steps and hugged her sister tightly. Anjali hugged back, but her grip was hesitant. "Why didn't you tell me?" Priya asked, voice breaking. Anjali looked down. "I was afraid you'd be angry. Or tell ma papa. Khalid. He said it would be easier this way. No drama." Priya pulled back. "Easier? You disappeared. I thought something terrible happened." "I'm sorry," Anjali said. "I thought I could handle it. He promised we'd tell everyone after the wedding. Then time passed. I didn't know how to explain." The officers had remained outside, giving the sisters privacy. But now one stepped in. "There is more," he said gently. "Your sister wishes to return to India." Anjali nodded slowly. "I want to come home." Priya felt relief flood through her. "Then let's go. We can leave today." But Khalid arrived shortly after. Tall, composed, dressed in a crisp kandura. He greeted Priya politely, then turned to Anjali. "We need to talk privately," he said. The counseling session stretched into hours. Khalid explained that he had sponsored Anjali after she expressed interest in a permanent life in the UAE. He claimed the marriage was consensual. Anjali confirmed it was. She had agreed, at first willingly. But over months, she realized the reality. Isolation from friends, pressure to convert fully to a new lifestyle, restrictions on travel, and growing distance from her family. She had tried to leave twice, but sponsorship laws complicated her exit. Without her husband's no-objection certificate, she could not cancel her visa or leave the country. Priya listened in stunned silence. UAE family and labor laws, while protective in many ways, sometimes trapped foreign spouses in unhappy situations when sponsors refused to cooperate. The police had been alerted not by a crime, but by a routine audit of visa transfers. When investigators cross-checked Anjali's file, they discovered discrepancies. The original employer had never formally released her, and the new sponsor had listed the employment as housewife rather than creative director as promised. That triggered a welfare check. What shocked everyone, police, counselors, even Priya, was not a crime of abduction or trafficking. It was the quiet machinery of bureaucracy and personal choices colliding. Anjali had not been kidnapped. She had chosen to stay, then regretted it. Khalid had not forced the marriage, but he now refused to let her go easily, citing cultural and legal rights as husband and sponsor. Over the following weeks, a mediated resolution unfolded. Dubai police, in coordination with the Indian consulate, applied pressure through legal channels. The Ministry of Human Resources intervened on grounds of contract violation. Khalid eventually signed the no-objection certificate after prolonged negotiations and counseling sessions focused on mutual respect and family welfare. On November 22, 2024, Anjali boarded a flight back to Delhi, accompanied by Priya. She carried only one suitcase, the other remained in the villa. At the airport, she hugged Khalid one last time. No anger, no tears in public. Just quiet goodbye. Back in Meerut, the sisters sat on the rooftop of their parents' home under a winter sky. Anjali spoke little at first. Then, slowly, she opened her sketchbook, the one she had left behind and Priya had retrieved. "I stopped drawing there," she admitted. "I felt like I lost myself." Priya touched her hand. "You found your way back." The family never spoke publicly about the details. The town whispered for a while, stories of Dubai's glitter hiding traps, but the sisters moved on. Priya resigned from the mall company and started a small online bookkeeping service from home. Anjali returned to her designs, this time launching an Etsy shop selling fusion scarves and dupattas. Money was tight again, but the air felt lighter. Months later, in March 2025, Priya received an email from Dubai Police's Welfare Division. A routine follow-up. Anjali was listed as returned safely to country of origin. The case file was closed. What the police had found that October day in 2024 was not a body, not evidence of foul play, but a marriage certificate, a visa mismatch, and a young woman who had walked into a new life and then needed help walking out. The shock was not in horror. It was in the ordinariness of it all. Two sisters left home seeking opportunity. One returned changed, wiser, carrying scars no one could see. The other stayed behind just long enough to ensure her sister could leave. In the end, the desert city that promised dreams gave one back her freedom, not through dramatic rescue, but through patient procedural truth. And in Meerut, on quiet evenings, the sisters still sit together on the rooftop, watching the same stars they once dreamed under, grateful for second chances.